with you, right? Now let's see what are the advantages if we don't use a programming language and using something like NSChat, which you are going to use and understand concept. Okay, this way you can directly concentrate on the basic concepts, because in the NSChat there are no syntax. Okay, we are basically put only the concept part into the syntax into the NSChat, and we are learning. So nothing called syntax is coming into that. Bare minimum of instructions we will include, which will be supported in or any language you take. So whatever we are going to do in the NSChat will be supported whatever the language you learn, right? But we will be mainly concentrating on the concept of the programming using NSChat. So, okay, so you can learn the concepts without getting distracted with unimportant things like syntax and so on. You don't have to concentrate on that. We are not bothered in the NSChat about the syntaxes. So we are purely concentrating on the concept, and you only see the concept. So whatever you learn there can be applied to in any programming language. So that is the advantage if you do in this way. So you will not get biased into a particular syntax. If you learn through a programming language, you will get used to that programming language, no, the syntax. That kind of a issue will not come when you go through and learn in the NSChat, because NSChat doesn't have a syntax. So any programming language will support these basic concepts. Whatever concept we are learning in the NSChat will be supported in any programming language. Okay, so when you want to learn a programming language, you are already aware of the basic concepts. Once you finish the NSChat and go through all that and you understand the concept, you definitely know the concept. So you don't have to worry when you want to go and learn a new language. You only learn the syntax of the language. You don't have to worry about the concept, because concept you have already understood, and that is not going to change whatever language you work with. Okay, the concept is going to be the same. So only any new language you want to go, just learn the syntax and use that. All the languages will have these concepts that we are going to learn in the NSChat. Okay, so you have only to learn the syntax and then use that language. You need not learn the basic concepts of program every time you learn a new language. You don't have to do that, because once you do this, when you go into, in our case, we will go into C#. When you go into C#, we are not going to learn concepts there, programming concept, only the C# syntax. Okay, the concept we have already learned through in the NSChat. So programming language. So the other issue is programming languages come and go. That means you get a language, then it get get faded, because nobody uses that after that. There's so many languages are there. For example, now, but see, what I'm trying to say is programming languages can come and go. Okay, new languages in future also, new languages can come and then go. But the basic concepts will remain the same in all the languages. So that will not change. The language itself will change. Different languages will change, right? For example, now when we started working, we had languages like COBOL. You must have heard of these also. Fortran, and there are a few other languages also, which are not popular anymore. Very rarely people use it now. Because those days, those were very popular and people used it. So they learned that language and worked with that. But now it's not, basically like no more. So whoever knows these languages, to currently in the current in the present, if they want to work, they have to learn some new languages. They can't be using Fortran and COBOL and do new programs. All the new languages have come, and various things are there. But the concept in the COBOL or Fortran or in the new languages will be same, which is not going to change. Okay, so languages, but probably now newer languages and popular. So the key, therefore, the key is to understand the concept. You can learn any new language that come along, because you have to only learn the syntax. That is the reason why we are doing NSChat and trying to understand the concept part, not the syntax part. Okay, so this is the reason why we are doing NSChat, which is not a programming language, to get to know the okay, for we are trying to understand the programming concepts using the NSChat. Okay, programming concept using the NSChat. So NSChat, but remember, NSChat is not a language, no, it's not a programming language. So it cannot be executed in a computer directly. You can't write something in NSChat and tell the computer to do it. It's not possible. So if you want to do whatever you have written in NSChat and put that into the computer, first it has to be translated and written in a programming language. That's where the programming language will come. Then you look at your NS chart, convert it, and write it in that particular language, and then you can give it to that particular language, and that computer has the compiler or the interpreter, as we have already learned those. It will do the translation and run that programming language in that computer. Okay, so this particular part we have to do, but don't worry, as you will see later, translating a program written using NSChart to a programming language is reasonably an easy task. It's not a complicated thing. I will show you. So whatever we are writing, whatever we are initially writing using NSChart, when we start on C#, I will convert those NSChart and show you how they are converted to the C# relevant code. Okay, if you are learning some other language like Java or Python or something else, JavaScript or anything for that matter, you will have to learn the syntax of that, and then you can translate this NSChart into those languages also. That also shouldn't be much of a difficult problem. Okay, so just remember that. So the basic programming concepts. Now we'll see what these concepts are. I have already explained this in other videos, but let me just go through one more time. What is this basic programming concepts I am talking about? There are three things. One is process. That is, every command you write in the NSChart or in the computer programming language or wherever you write, each command you write will execute one after the other from top to bottom. That is what we put it in the process in our NSChart. Every command we put in a process. So when you put process one after the other, after the other, after the other, it will start from the top, execute the first one, then go to the second one, execute that, then go to the third one, execute that. So this order of execution from top to bottom, one by one, is what this process is all about. So that is one of the concepts in the programming environment. Okay. Second concept is decision. Whenever you, now always your programs are not serially executed like that, because in program you have to make certain decisions at some point in time. For example, in an ATM machine, when you put your card and type in your password, PIN number, the computer has to check whether this PIN number is okay. Now, when the PIN number is okay, it has to do something. When the PIN number is not okay, it has to do something else. No? So that's where the decision comes. So there are situations like that. You can't just go ahead and do everything all the time. We will be faced with certain time where we have to make a decision. So when we want to make a decision, you use this decision. In the decision, you put a condition or a criteria. If the condition is true, you do something. If the condition is false, you do something else. So that is when a decision will come. Okay. Then this is the second programming concept that we are talking about. One is process, serial execution one after the other. Then whenever there is a decision to make, the decision part. These two are, as well as the third one, is available in any programming language you take. Okay. Third one is the loop. That is, sometimes you want to repeat something. Okay. We will see examples of these as we go through. Whenever you want to repeat something, you use the loop. Okay. And these loops are also executed based on a condition. As long as a certain condition is met, it keep on looping over and over again, unlimited times, until the condition fails. The moment the condition fails, it will come out. So that also we will, when we do the NSChart and the loop part, I will explain to you how those are done. But I really want you to understand is these are the three programming concepts we are talking about. Every program will execute from top to bottom, process one after the other, unless you want to decide and do something, in which case you will use a decision and make your decisions. And if you want to repeat certain things, you use the loop. So these are the main three concepts available in any programming language. And these are the only three things we are going to use in our NSChart and do all our programs. So whatever program you use NSChart and write, you can definitely convert it into any language you want, because all the languages will support this idea of process, decision, and loop. So we are not going into the particular syntax. So in NSChart, we will follow a certain way. But if you are going to translate it into a particular language, you have to look at that particular language's syntax for process, the language's syntax for decision, the language's syntax for loop, and convert it. That is a simple thing. I will show you as we go through. But this is the main programming concept we are talking about. So I hope this video has gives you some idea why we are spending time with NSChart and not directly getting into a programming language and writing code. Okay, I hope you understand this. If you have any issues or if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the group. I'm not asking or expecting you to take my word for this and listen to this video and say, okay, this is what it is. If you have a question, please ask question. Okay, we are asking question is also a way of learning things. Okay, so feel free to do that, please. Okay, thank you very much for patiently listening to me for this much. So we will continue from here with other videos. Okay, thank you.